Who dat to the Who Dat Nation? Welcome to the Dome Patrol podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. And Who Dat Nation, are you ready for some football? We have arrived to the beginning of the 2023-24 NFL football season, and we are about to kick off this season with the opener against the Tennessee Titans in the Caesars Superdome this Sunday, 12 noon on CBS. I cannot wait. I have been chopping at the bit since January to get back to some Saints football. I know we're coming off of a embarrassment of a 2020 to 2023 season. It was embarrassing. First year head coach, new quarterback, train wreck of a NFC South division. It just nothing went right. Injuries last year, just back to back. Every week it was something. And we needed a reboot. We needed to restart. And this is the year. We have a new quarterback under center with Derek Carr. We have new draft picks that are expected to make instant impacts on this team. We have the return of Michael Thomas this season, hopefully healthy, hopefully a remnants of what he was in 2019. We have so many questions with Dennis Allen. We have so many questions with Pete Carmichael, Joe Woods, the new defensive coordinator. So much, but all will be answered beginning this Sunday. I'm excited. Can't you tell? I'm excited for this season. But before we jump into the preview of this upcoming game, let's discuss this out of nowhere suspension that came. No, not Alvin Kamara, who we know will start his 3-game suspension this Sunday. No. This shocked me. This actually shocked me. New Orleans Saints rookie quarterback Jake Hader has been suspended for the first 6 games of the 2023 NFL season for violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing substance. I am blown away by that. Really, I was like, really? No wonder he looked so good in the preseason. But allegedly, the test took place earlier this summer. This was before training camp and all this. So I don't know. It's not a major hit. It wasn't like he was going to be playing, but it's just like, man, what a way to start off your career in the NFL. Your first 6 games, you're suspended. But the league announced the suspension on Wednesday, and they didn't say what the substance was that Hader took. So we don't know. We don't know if it was a monster or or steroids, or I don't know. Nobody knows. But Jake Hader did release a statement on his official Instagram account, and this was his statement. I recently learned that I tested positive for a substance banned by the NFL earlier this summer. I still don't know how the substance got into my body, as none of my supplements or prescribed medications contained the banned ingredient. I would never knowingly cheat the game that I love. However, I must take full responsibility for the failed test. I apologize to the Saints organization, my friends, and my family for any distraction this suspension may cause. I like Jake Hader. I really do. I think he is a potential quarterback of the future, so that's why I was kind of upset by this announcement. I don't want anything to derail his progression, going forward. So I hope that this was a misunderstanding. I get a kick out of athletes when they get busted for PEDs. They always say, "Oh, I don't know how they got in my body." How you don't know? I know what I ate last week. So it's no, there's no such thing as I didn't know. That's crazy. But that's the news on that front. Yes, we have two suspended players for the beginning of the season. Alvin Kamara the first 3 games, and Jake Hader for the first 6 games, which is an odd kind of a suspension. You know, Alvin Kamara got in a fight and almost blinded a man, knocked the man's eyeball out, and he got 3 games. And Jake Hader took some wolf cookies or whatever, and he gets 6 games. It's a weird level of discipline in the NFL, but that's neither here nor there. But him being suspended means he's not the third QB, and that moves Taysom Hill from tight end to QB3. So that did affect the roster in that way, because now the NFL, due to what happened in the NFC Championship game last year with Brock Purdy being injured, his backup being injured in that game, and they had no other quarterback on the roster, which ultimately cost them a chance at the Super Bowl. The NFL changed the rule where you can have 3 quarterbacks on the roster during, game in a game scenario. So hopefully we'll never have to experience that, what they went through, the 49ers went through. I hope nobody gets to experience that. That was brutal. That was brutal to watch. I really felt bad, and I don't even like the 49ers like that. But moving on to this game, we have our first game of the season, the real game, not the preseason, not the training camp, not any joint practices. This is the real deal, as we saw this past Thursday night when we saw the Super Bowl champs fall to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are for real. I will say that, and I'm putting that out there now because they are on our schedule coming up in a few weeks. So we need to take those guys seriously. But before we get to that, we have the Tennessee Titans coming to town, and they are not to be overlooked either. After going 2-1 in the preseason, the Saints start the 2023 NFL regular season schedule at home against Tennessee. The Saints and the Titans both are eager to bounce back after disappointing 7-10 seasons, each their first losing season in 5 years. The result will be a matchup between two hungry teams led by passionate head coaches, looking forward to showing off squads upgraded through free agency and the draft. This will be the second time the Saints face the Tennessee Titans or the Houston Oilers franchise in a season opener. In 1993, the Saints defeated the then Oilers 33-21 in a Sunday night football match at the Superdome. New Orleans has won their last 4 home openers for the first time in franchise history. They will be looking to extend that streak this Sunday to 5. And this will begin the Derek Carr era. Derek Carr comes over from the Las Vegas Raiders after spending 9 seasons there. This is a test for him. This is a test for Dennis Allen. This is a test for this team. I believe that this team is coming in with a chip on their shoulder. Of course, well, both teams, as I mentioned earlier, they underachieved last year, and both teams fell short of the playoffs. The big test going into this Sunday is, let's address the elephant in the room, or I like to put it, the Derrick Henry in the room. The 6'3", 247-pound running back who is a beast. I love Derrick Henry. Any other week that we're not playing him, I love Derrick Henry. He is an old school running back, man. Big, strong, and fast. And tackling him is like tackling a linebacker. And the New Orleans Saints, fortunately, has 3 new starters on this defensive line. And the new look unit will look for this early test against Derrick Henry, who last year ran for 1,538 yards, which ranked number 2 in the NFL. Saints defensive tackle Colin Sanders, who played previously with the Kansas City Chiefs, said tackling Henry is difficult once he gets going. This is a quote from Sanders. If you get him before his momentum starts, that's where you have a little success. We're going to have to be active up front and stay persistent the whole game to make sure he doesn't break one of those long ones. Moving over to the other side of the ball, Tennessee has the NFL's stingiest defense against the run, but the league's worst unit defending the pass last season. The Titans allowed 274.8 yards per game, playing without Pro Bowl outside linebacker Harold Landry. He's on the initial injury report, and we're going to go over that the entire injury report in a little bit. He has an abdominal injury, but in speaking of the run game that the Saints possess, Saints linebacker Alvin Kamara, as we all know, is serving the first of his 3-game suspension in connection to that fight in Las Vegas in 2022. The Saints brought in free agent Jamal Williams, who scored a career-high 17 touchdowns with Detroit last season to help shore up the backfield. The Saints also drafted Kendrick Miller out of TCU, but he has missed practice a couple of days this week with a hamstring injury. The Saints are 3-7 without Kamara since drafting him out of Tennessee in 2017. And when you look at that statistic, it kind of sends shivers down the spines of the Houdat Nation. It is a it's going to be tough, but I have faith in Jamal Williams. I like him as a running back. I'm interested to see how he fits in on this team and how working with Derek Carr and the rest of these weapons will help this running, because we need to get that running game going in order to keep Derrick Henry on the sidelines. Not so much their quarterback Ryan Tannehill, but the running back Derrick Henry. But speaking of Tannehill's first chance to throw to 3-time All-Pro receiver DeAndre Hopkins, man. This is going to be the test. We're going to see Marcus Lattimore locked up against this young fella who is a beast. And I'm not a big Tannehill fan, but all Tannehill got to do is throw it in D-Hop's general direction. He can get it. I think they did a study, and they said that D-Hop has a 10-foot catch radius. That means if you throw it up in the air, and if it's in the 10-foot radius of his hands, he'll be able to catch it. That is crazy. That dude is amazing. The Titans signed Hopkins just before training camp to booster a passing attack that was 30th in the NFL last season. That's close. That's about as close to last without getting to last. Tannehill said he had fun getting to know Hopkins during camp and the preseason. He credited Hopkins for working hard to build trust and chemistry with one another. Tannehill went on to quote, this is a quote from Tannehill, Ryan Tannehill, the Titans quarterback, that is, "I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. It's just a matter of doing it on Sundays," end quote. Now, let's move over to our injury report that was released on today, Friday. This is the final injury report, I believe. And we have a couple of players who was ruled out for this Sunday's game against the Titans. Starting with wide receiver Tre'Quan Smith. Groin is ruled out. I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm so done with Tre'Quan Smith. Is unbelievable. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Now, don't get me wrong. If the man hurt, he's hurt. I get it, but my God, man, it's to the point now, bro. what's the point of him being on this team? Anyway, let's go down the list. Along with Traquan Smith, we have safety JT Gray, shoulder. He has been ruled out. Now that one hurts. JT Gray is a Pro Bowl special teamer, and he is a reserve safety who has made plays in that position. So that is a blow. Other players on the list, we have running back Kendrick Miller, who has a hamstring injury. He has been designated as questionable for Sunday's game. Marshawn Lattimore was dealing with a knee issue throughout the week, but he was a full participant. It is expected to go. Also, tackle Ryan Ramczyk. He didn't practice. Well, he was limited for rest, but he is expected to go, as well as tight end Jimmy Graham. He rested, and he was a full participant in Friday's practice. He is also expected to play. Tennessee has one player who has been ruled out for Sunday's game, and that is cornerback Trey Avery with a hamstring. He has been ruled out. Linebacker Harold Landry, abdominal. He did practice on Friday, full participant, but he has been ruled questionable. Tackle Dylan Radis, knee. He has been ruled questionable. Wide receiver Traylon Burks, knee. He was a full participant. Linebacker Aiden Key, calf. He was a full participant. Quarterback Will Levis, quadricep. He was a full participant. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, rest. He was a full participant on Friday, as well as tight end Trayvon Westcott for rest, but he was a full participant on Friday. And so that is the injury report. No biggies, no big injuries, thank God, and hopefully none during the game. But yeah, we do have two players who were ruled out. One I don't think was going to play anyway. But it is what it is. The line on this game is Saints giving up 3 points. They're at home. You're gonna they get those 3 points just for being at home. And the over under on this game is 41.5. And ESPN gives the New Orleans Saints a 53.4% chance of winning this game. I'm gonna say keys to victory in this week's game. First and foremost, contain Derrick Henry. Make Ryan Tannehill beat you. If Ryan Tannehill comes out here Sunday in the Dome, throws for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns, they deserve to win. They deserve to win. Because at that point, I can't even get mad because nobody would ever see that coming. Ryan Tannehill's mother would not see that coming. And so I could live with that. But if you let Derrick Henry come in this Dome and rush for 200 and something yards all over us, which he is fully capable of doing, we're going to have a long Sunday evening. And so we have to contain him. You're not going to be able to stop him, but you can contain him and make it difficult for Ryan Tannehill and the rest of that offense. And so that's my number one key as far as the defense is concerned. Offensively, get the running game going. Get you a complementary running game to go with all of those weapons you have at the skill positions. I know how it is. I was a kid once. I understand. You get a shiny new toy, you immediately want to play with it. You drop all the rest of them and you want to play with the new toys, I understand. I get it. The temptation is there, but you have to temper those temptations and stick to the running game. Keep pounding the ball, pounding the clock. Keep Derrick Henry on the sidelines. Keep your defense fresh. The 3 and outs and 3 and outs. You think back in last season when the New Orleans Saints offense was on the field. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but I'm pretty sure the Saints was ranked pretty high when it came to 3 and outs offensively. At one point, I was expecting it. I just knew it was going to happen because they could not convert, and they were constantly putting the defense back on the field. They tired, they wore out. They didn't even get a good swig of the Gatorade, and they're back on the field. You know, it was brutal. Last year was like pulling teeth, man. I ain't lying. And so we need to establish a run game and really open up that pass game. Then you can play with the shiny new toys. You can have Derek Carr throw into Olave, throw into Mike T, throw into Jimmy Graham, throw into Shadeed. I mean, just having a ball out there. But you must establish the run game first. So Jamal Williams, Kendrick Miller, if he's healthy, this is the game for them. My predictions for this game, outcome wise, I had a question mark on this game in my preseason predictions for the schedule. I still have a question mark because I have a lot of respect for the Tennessee Titans. They are an old school, gritty team. You know, Mike Vrabel, their coach, is a really good coach. They have really good players on that side of the field. So I'm not just gonna jump out there and say, "Oh, the Saints going to demolish them." No, I'm not going. I'm not going that far. But I do have the Saints winning this game. It's going to be a close game. I think this will be one of those kind of defensive, ugly, scrappy games. Maybe a few mistakes, a lot of adrenaline. You know, the heart's going to be pounding. First game of the season, first game in the dome. It's going to be loud. It's going to be ruckus. I think it's going to be kind of low scoring. And I mean, like in the 20s, something like what we saw Thursday night. I have the New Orleans Saints coming out victorious 24-20. And I'm trying something new this year. I'm giving my predictions. I'm giving my score predictions. Hopefully it's not the kiss of death. If it's the kiss of death, you would not hear me give another prediction for the remainder of this season. So I'm just trying this out. This is a test run. Let's see how this goes. But I do have the Saints coming out victorious in this game. Can't wait for this. Oh man, football is back, people. I would like to know, are you excited? Who Dat Nation? Are you geared up? I would say have barbecues going, but I think they still banning barbecuing. Even though we've been getting some rain the past couple of days. Thank God. It's been a scorcher, man. But are you planning a tailgate? Are you going to the game, or you going to what is it, Buffalo Wild Wings or Walk-Ons or somewhere to watch the game? Oh man, are you excited that the Saints are back? I would like to know. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also look me up on all social media platforms. Just look up the KB Radio Network. Also, I'm on YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel. Give this video a like if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. Also, don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are currently listening to the Dome Patrol podcast here on the KB Radio Network. Ooh, boy, I've been waiting months for this. I've been waiting months. It feels like years, doesn't it? This has been the longest off season in recent memory. Either I'm getting too old or it just felt long, but the wait is over. Everyone stay tuned after the Saints come out victorious this Sunday against the Tennessee Titans when I will return to recap that game and review and give the statistics and hopefully be in a good mood because we won, but be on the lookout for it immediately after the game. We will return. Until then, I'm going to be screaming through the streets, "Who dat?"